Am I the asshole for testifying against my brother in a custody case after he abandoned his child? I 25F have an older brother 28M. Growing up my mom spoiled him a lot and still has a habit of excusing his behavior because that's her son. This situation has completely fractured my family, and now I'm being told I'm a terrible sister. My brother was in a long-term relationship with his ex-girlfriend Lena 27F. They have a son together who is now 5. Lena and I became very close during their relationship, and even after they broke up, I stayed involved in my nephew's life. I babysit, help with school stuff, and I'm basically one of his safe adults. When my nephew was around 2, my brother left. Not just emotionally, he abandoned them. He moved out, stopped helping financially, barely called, and eventually cut contact entirely after getting involved with another woman. Lena struggled a lot during that time, but she stepped up and did everything for their child on her own. My brother never paid consistent child support and would disappear for months at a time. Fast forward to last year. My brother suddenly reappears, saying he misses his son and wants to be involved again. However, his first move wasn't apologizing or easing back, and he was demanding Lena's current address and threatening legal action. Lena had moved for safety and stability and didn't want him showing up unannounced, so she asked me not to give it out. When my brother asked me for her address, I refused. I told him that if he wanted to see his son, he needed to go through proper legal channels and rebuild trust. He accused me of choosing his ex over him and said I was betraying family. Eventually, he found her address on his own and immediately filed for custody, asking for far more than he'd ever been involved enough to handle. The case went to court, and I was asked to testify. I told the truth that he had been absent for years, that Lena was the primary and consistent parent, and that my brother only reappeared after starting a new relationship and wanting to look like a family man. The judge ruled against him. He didn't lose all rights, but he did not get the custody arrangement he wanted. Now my brother is furious with me. He says I should have lied or at least kept my mouth shut because we're siblings. My mom agrees with him and keeps telling me I ruined his chance to start over and be a better father. She says family loyalty should come before outsiders, even when kids are involved. I don't feel guilty for telling the truth, especially when my nephew's stability was on the line, but being iced out by my mom and constantly attacked by my brother is wearing me down. So am I the asshole for refusing to help my brother and testifying against him in court? Not the asshole. You did stick by family, your nephew. Not the asshole. You did choose family loyalty, your nephew. He's a child, and you thought of what was best for him, not the 28-year-old who noped out on a whim and had nothing to do with his own son for several years. You chose the physical and emotional welfare of your nephew over your brother and his nonsense. Good on you. Your mother is an asshole, and the apple didn't fall far from the asshole tree when it comes to your brother. The child's well-being always comes first. Ask your mom. If family is so important, why did brother abandon his child for years? I'm pretty sure your mother raised your brother to think he was immune to the consequences of his own actions, which is why he's such a gaping asshole now. Thank you for doing the right thing and standing by your nephew. Take whatever shit rains down from your mother/brother as a badge of honor. If people like that hate you, you're doing something right. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. As a significant person in the child's life, you're compelled to testify and to speak truthfully under oath. It's the child's welfare. Not the asshole. The next time your mom and brother mention family loyalty, tell them you were loyal to family, your nephew. Your brother is essentially a stranger to him and is unreliable and irresponsible. He is the adult, and your nephew is a child who cannot advocate for himself, so your loyalty must go to him. Remind them that your brother wasn't loyal to his child. So apparently family loyalty only applies when it's convenient for him. Not the asshole. The child's safety is the priority. Am I the asshole for wanting to keep my engagement ring from my late fiancé? I'm using a throwaway, as I don't want the drama of this on my main Reddit. I hope you all understand. I 36F. Lost my fiancé nearly 11 years ago in car crash. We were both in the car, but I got out with only minor injuries while he died instantly. This messed me up quite a bit, and I was in and out of therapy and support groups for years over this. The support group is where I met my current partner, 45M. He is a widower who lost his wife to cancer, and we understood each other's pain a lot and bonded over it. 3 years ago we started dating, and we moved in with each other last month. I've remained close with the family of my late fiancé since I lost him, and they were a great support to me in the first few years. However, his mother, 61F, asked me last week for the ring he gave me back since I'm now seriously involved with another man. She said she wanted the ring to keep in the family, and it'd mean a lot to have it. This upset me. The ring he gave me wasn't a family ring, and it's garnet and emerald ring he picked out because those are our birthstones, and I didn't want a traditional diamond. We picked the ring out together, and he saved for months to get me it. It holds a lot of beautiful memories for me, even if it's bittersweet. I'm now at a point where I can enjoy the good memories without too much pain. Me being in a relationship now doesn't mean I have this ring gathering dust in a drawer somewhere. I wear it on my right hand now, the same way my partner wears his wedding ring. We both feel it's okay to honor our lost loves this way, and neither of us have any jealousy or negative feelings over this. How we have a picture of my fiancé and his wife on the wall of our living room. I told her I could understand if it had been a family ring he'd inherited, though, that would still have made me feel a little weird to have her asking for it back, but it isn't a family ring. It's my ring that we picked out together, and I plan to wear it for the rest of my life. She insisted it should be back in the family, however, and that she wanted it as it was the last major purchase he made before he died. I ended up hanging up on her as I was so upset, and I've been avoiding her calls since. My partner is angry on my behalf that she even asked this and told me she was being ridiculous and that I should wear the ring as long as I want to. I can't help but feel like I'm being punished for finding someone to make me happy. That I was supposed to mourn him forever in her eyes. I've spoken to my parents about this too to get their insight on it, and my mum feels that maybe I should give the ring back as his mother is clearly just hurting and wants to hold on to something of her son. My dad, meanwhile, says he can see both sides of this, and it's my choice. I don't know, I might be a bit too emotional over this. Am I being the asshole or unreasonable here? Edit. A couple of people seem confused. My current partner is not my new fiancé or my husband. I call him my partner because he feels at his age being called a boyfriend is a bit too humorous, as if he's young. If we are being technical, however, he is a boyfriend. We have only just moved in together. I am sorry if my wording caused any confusion. You keep saying give the ring back. Stop using that language. There is no one to give it back to. It belongs to you and only you. That she would even ask is strange, but that is not your problem. The ring is yours. The answer is no. If she chooses to hold this against you, just let her. This has nothing to do with you. I would tell her there is no way on earth I would ever part with the ring the love of your life purchased just for you. Sometimes you have to let people feel the way they feel, and sometimes their feelings ruin a relationship. You are not the asshole. Not the asshole, you wouldn't be giving the ring back, as it was never his family's. The ring is entirely a symbol of his and your relationship. To call it his last major purchase is a strange way to justify wanting it, frankly. That may be just awkward wording on her part, but the fact is that to her that really is all it is to her. Something he spent a lot of money on that was meaningful to him, but it isn't meaningful to her in the same way it is meaningful to you, which is why she can't frame it as anything better than his last major purchase. The way it is symbolic to you is the very purpose of the ring's existence. Not the asshole. It doesn't need to go back to the family, when it was never in the family. It was picked out by you together. It's not even something that you even have stored away. It's something you actively wear and remember him by. Would still be not the asshole if this was the case. The fact that she waited until now says this has everything to do with her feelings of you being in this relationship, not even about the ring itself. If you still want this relationship, just let her know the answer is no, and any conversation that brings it up again will get ended immediately. Not the asshole. I cannot articulate enough how insane that is of her to request. That is your ring, given to you by your late partner to symbolize your love. It has absolutely nothing to do with his family. I'm glad your partner is supporting you, and I'm sorry you are being put in that position. Not the asshole at all whatsoever. Keep the ring, and remember the good times and the love it was chosen with. Not the asshole. She insisted it should be back in the family, however, and that she wanted it as it was the last major purchase he made before he died. This is weird. It can't go back in the family because it was never in the family to begin with. And what if his last major purchase had have been a kayak? Would she have wanted that back? To me it sounds like she is a bit upset by you moving on. Am I the asshole for telling a friend she had an STI when she asked? Over the past year or so I've gotten friendly with my barber, and we started hanging out outside of my haircuts. A few months ago, we went out for dinner/drinks, and because I am a female physician, she asked me to weigh in on what she might have been diagnosed with at an urgent care some years ago. She described a period of pelvic pain, was told at the urgent care that she had a pelvic infection, and was subsequently treated with a shot in the butt. Pelvic infection in a woman in her 20s who is sexually active treated with a single intramuscular injection of an antibiotic is slam dunk an STI. It's like she was writing a med school test question honestly. So I told her I thought she likely had pelvic inflammatory disease from an STI like gonorrhea, chlamydia, or syphilis. She was slightly shocked, but generally laughed it off and said something to the effect of the guy she had been seeing at the time was probably cheating on her. We enjoyed the rest of the night and parted on great terms, or so I thought. I reached out a few times over the following weeks to hang out again, but she kept making excuses. I really didn't think anything of it because she had a lot going on in her professional and personal lives. Eventually I booked an appointment for a haircut and she reached out to cancel the appointment because our last interaction left me feeling pretty uncomfortable, specifically being told that you thought I had /syphilis/ in a crowded restaurant. I was completely blindsided by this and had no idea she felt that way. I responded saying as much and apologized for making her feel that way, explaining that it was not my intent at all. I just thought I was answering the question she had posed to me. And to clarify, we were having a conversation as a very normal volume in a crowded/noisy neighborhood gastropub. It's not like I was screaming that she had an STI to the whole bar. So, am I the asshole for giving her my professional opinion which she solicited? Also, why not just say something to me one of the many times I reached out to hang again? And is this really worthy of throwing our entire friendship away? Does it overshadow entirely all my other good characteristics that made her want to be friends in the first place? Clarifications. I did recommend she get her records from the urgent care to confirm what the diagnosis was and encouraged her in the future to advocate for herself in these situations so she can understand her own health. The doctors who didn't explain it to her are the assholes. Not the asshole. Not the asshole we have to stop treating STIs like some moral failing. It's unfortunate when it does happen, but she got it treated and moved on with her life. If we could talk about that as casually as we talk about strep throat or the stomach bug, we'd be better off. Not the asshole she's absolutely embarrassed by this, is taking out her feelings on you, a classic shoot the messenger scenario, and you've probably lost the friendship, so move on. Also take this as a lesson. You got a case of doctoritis and gave a professional opinion to a friend, when your answer should have been to tell her to ask her own physician. Medical ethics tell doctors to avoid giving medical advice or opinions to friends and family for this very reason. Not the asshole. She literally asked. Jesus, what a child she is. She asked a doctor for an armchair Monday morning quarterback diagnosis of what even I fucking know was likely an STI. She's embarrassed and making you the problem. You're not. At all. I would never tell a friend about a medical problem that was probably embarrassing. What the fuck did she think it was? Jesus Christ on a motorbike. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Not the asshole for giving an honest answer. Am I the asshole for not making my cookie table allergen-free? I am hosting the family for Christmas Eve, and I have always done a cookie table instead of a dessert. Overall, I love to bake, and there are usually around 15 different types of cookies. My son recently got married, and I have a 2-step grandkids now. They are 8 and 10. They are allergic to peanuts. If it gets on their skin, they fine, but if they eat it, they get a bad rash and swell up. They don't really listen to anyone, and it has caused issue before. My plan for this year was to keep the cookies with peanut butter on one table and the other cookies on another. Everthine was going to be labeled also. I wasn't going to cook them at the same time, either, to avoid cross-contamination. I told my son the plan, and he didn't have an issue with it. He said he would talk to the kids. My Dill called me up and wasn't happy with the plan. She told me I can't have anything with peanut butter at the event. I told her no because a lot of people like these cookies. I already made a few batches. He continued to argue, and I told her to just watch the kids, and at August 10th, they should know well enough not to eat what they are allergic to. She called me a dick over it, and that I will be tempting them since they are cookies. My son contacted me after saying I should have more tact, even if he agreed it should be fine. He said the kids already know not to eat their allergen, and they don't have issue at school with this. Edit. Common questions I have seen. Yes, the school allows nuts. No, the kids don't have an airborne reactions to nuts, confused why people think this. What type of swelling? Their face gets red and their face is puffy. No, they have never had their throat close. She told me this when I first met them and asked about it. Yes, everything will be labeled. Cross-contamination shouldn't be a problem at all. I am cleaning between cookies and their allergy isn't strong enough to be affected by that in the first place. Mom has never been worried about cross-continuation anywhere. We have gone to many restaurants that serve peanuts and she never mentions it. Didn't even come up as a reason. She claimed I would be tempting them. Are there nuts in their house? Yes, my son eats them. Your DIL is setting those kids up for a trip to the ER or worse because she refuses to parent them so that they are responsible about what they eat. SHE is the dick here. Someone with an allergen. Not the asshole. They will be fine. You have it on a separate table. They should know not to eat from that table, or they will blow up like a balloon. They isn't eat their allergen at school. Yes, school will have peanut butter cookies. They know peanut butter hurts them. They will be okay. If it was a toddler, that's a different story, but this is 8 and 10. They're good. Not the asshole. I dunno what the fuck is up with the commenters, saying that you are in fact tempting children with their allergen. At 8 years old, I knew what I was and wasn't allergic to. I simply didn't eat the stuff I wasn't meant to. If the kids eat cookies they know are basically poisonous to them, they're no different from kids that eat paste, to be honest. XD. Survival of the fittest. If a simple cookie you know would make you sick is tempting enough to risk eating. Also FR, bad mom for not, mothering her kids? Not the asshole. You don't get to demand, no one gets to eat your kid's allergen. If they can't control themselves at age 8 and 10, the parents have failed. While I don't think you're an asshole, I do think this could go wrong fast. If someone touches something and the kids get it on their hands and then eat a safe cookie, it could be enough to cause a reaction. Info. Why not make the peanut butter cookies and wrap them up for people to take home and consume? Give out at the end of the night. The kids are old enough to know. They should be taught to always ask before eating foods. Your DIL is ridiculous.